Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, double honors to the apostles and elders, great most honorable one, Shalom to all the brothers doing the work of steering truth. Yeah, got this article on RT showing, despite the fact it's not really been spoken about in the mainstream for a little while, these things work in the background. And it's kind of, you'll find articles here and there, but it's like the last kind of big push it got was when he did the presentation with Neuralink, with a monkey and whatnot. Then a little after, when they said they were gonna do human testing with it. So this is on RT. Says Musk seeps more brain chip tech media. So this is the billionaire Tesla boss and Neuralink executive. Is reportedly mulling an investment into a rival brain chip firm. Tech entrepreneur Elon Musk is considering an investment in Synchron, a brain chip developer which competes with his own similar company, Neuralink. Yeah. So he's basically doing a thing that, a lot of these American companies, they've basically been on for a minute, where they'll just buy up the competition so that they, end up with a monopoly over these things. And it's funny because you had multiple different companies actually going into brain chips. Like there's been maybe, because they mentioned Synchron did one in Australia. I think there's another company as well that did human trials where they had someone who's paralyzed or had certain diseases where they can't use their nervous system, so they had them get the brain chips implanted, so they would say, saying it's interfacing with computers or iPhones or whatever the hell. So these things it's been there. It's still been getting used. So this is what which competes investment in Synchron. Okay. Tech entrepreneur Elon Musk is considering investment in Synchron, a brain chip developer which competes with his own similar company, Neuralink, according to Reuters. And yeah, it's like if he gets involved, obviously, then he'll get access to what they're what they've been doing, what they've been able to pull off, and it'll speed up his shit. So it says Musk has reached out to Synchron's founder and CEO Thomas Oxley in recent weeks to explore a possible venture. 4 people familiar with the discussions told the outlet, while noting that the talks are far from finalized and it's yet unclear whether a deal will be made. Based in New York, Synchron is several steps ahead of Neuralink in securing regulatory approval to test its brain implants in humans, and this might be, the reason why, because it basically lets him get to, because it's, considering that's being mentioned, I'm assuming he hasn't got it yet, and that's like the last thing they said they were going to do human tests, but then it's like, they're waiting on permission, so it's like might just be grabbing up this one to just be okay, make the thing happen. But you never know. They could be doing certain things behind closed doors and then prepping to kind of do another presentation or whatnot. So it says explore a possible venture. 4 people familiar with the discussions told the outlet, while noting that the talks are far from finalized, it's unclear whether a deal will be made. Based in New York, okay, yeah. So it says brain implants in humans receiving a green light from the FDA last year. Before that, it concluded a separate round of human trials on 4 people in Australia, gleaning valuable data for future tests. So everyone been getting in. People, you know that charagma, the MOTB, already been getting jammed up in people already. And, this is just to do wider tests in the US. And we'll see, because people are going to jump on it. The way people have kind of been on it, it's funny because, part of what was meant to be like the lead up to this was what the fuck's it called? Google Glass, where you had the glasses with like the camera on it that you used to have, and then you'd go around and it would kind of like take pictures and then overlay information and whatnot. So yeah, you would have the Google Glass, where it would kind of be like you'll be able to look at things. You might go to like certain places, and then you'll get like information overlaid. Different places where you go, and that's the mindset that the people, the average, general public is looking at this thing from. They're looking at it like, oh, it's gonna make it into like, that futuristic where you just, look somewhere and then you just have like Google downloading information into your brain, which obviously the elites are looking to achieve, but they're looking to do these things for themselves. It's just like with, technologies where they're looking to extend their life, they're looking to live forever, looking to rejuvenate organs, and basically, be able to stop themselves aging up. These things are research on what the elites are looking to apply to themselves. They ain't gonna just be spreading that to everyone. And like a good example of that is with altered carbon, because that basically resulted in like having a bunch of rich what the hell is it called, immortal kind of generations where they will just like all just stay alive, living forever at the same age, kind of just doing whatever the hell they're doing, and then just keeping everything under their thumb. And those on the poorer end, they didn't even have access to the same technology, same means of which how, the rich will sustain themselves. Those aren't even an option. You're basically just stuck doing whatever you're doing on a base level. And it's funny as hell, because that's like, the general public is looking like, oh, we're gonna do X, Y, Z. But then it's like, okay, these things, like, you even gonna have the means to access them. And that's the thing as well. Is anyway, it's like you're gonna have the mark implemented, you're gonna have the charagma implemented for a season. But then what? It's like well, it's gonna be used as a form of control. It's gonna create that gap between those that are controlling, and those that are on the underneath that have that have to deal with these systems. So it says, while Musk has repeatedly hinted at human tests with Neuralink in the near future, they have yet to be authorized for that use. Okay, yeah, so they ain't got it yet. And it is not known where the company currently stands in the regulatory process. In contrast, the Synchron's device installing the Neuralink requires a major surgical operation involving cuts into the skull, possibly explaining the slower progress. The talks between Musk and Synchron would not be the first time the billionaire reached out to a rival brain company, having held discussions with Paradromics Inc. in 2020. According to Reuters, these negotiations have since been cut off, however. Despite the apparent lack of headway with regulators, Neuralink is a significantly larger company, boasting a 300 employee roster and gathering some $363 million in investment since its founding in 2016. Synchron, which was launched the same year, has around 60 workers and attracted a modest 65 million. So yeah, these obviously Neuralink's the main one, but then yeah, the way they apply it is different from other ones. Because, like you said, they got cut into the head. So, we'll see what, how it shakes out. Because these things, it's really like it will get mentioned, but then there's so many distractions nowadays that it don't stay in the forefront of people's minds. Most people ain't, like you mentioned it, like, oh yeah, because it's it's just something they're just thinking like, oh yeah, eventually, we'll just get cybernetic arms. And I remember watching the $1 Million Man. What was a guy who got turned into a fucking cyborg? I was thinking like, yeah, in a few years you'll be able to get cybernetic arms and legs, and you're gonna be crushing the fucking bumper of a car with your right arm. But this is the kind of mindset. Well, that's just being wandering after the beast, man. You're basically looking like, damn, like what can't Esau do? All the things that he's dreaming of, the shit you see in Star Trek, in these different movies and different forms of media where it's like meant to be far in the future, and they've accomplished some kind of super technologies. When these things are gone, that's when that's the mindset everyone's in. Everyone's looking like, oh, we're gonna be there soon. But, they're just in love. The harlots ensorcelled them and they saw her. They're thinking, damn, kind of bad though. So this is what Revelation 13 and 16 says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Yeah. So this is the technology that's being developed. These brain chips, as they're calling them. It's what? It's that MOTB, that mark, that implantable device that's basically gonna be used as a new currency, the new means of interacting, of becoming a part of just functioning within society. It's gonna require you what? To be messing with that chip, with that charagma, man, with that mark. And that's basically gonna be, the new standard. Where it's like now it's dollars, dollar bills, y'all. Then it'll be what? It'll be dollars anymore. Be done through the mark. Ezekiel 28:2, it says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Most High Power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man. Yeah. And this is really what Esau's trying to do. With all these technologies, he's basically trying to access spiritual powers, spiritual capabilities, carnally. He's trying to make them things come about through, his technology, which is the blessing he's been given. These different forms of technology been given them. But then what's the purpose? Is what? That charagma, that mark. That's the prophecy that needs to be fulfilled. And that's what he's, pursuing. But then this guy thinks that means that he's been given a favor of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. He's basically going to be able to fulfill everything, which is completely false. He thinks the prophecy is now going to apply to him, to where he's going to rule forever. I am a God, I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. So yeah, you have been able to accomplish, your rule. You've been able to amass riches. You've been able to develop your technology. You've basically been put on levels of understanding higher than those that came before. To where you're able to go into able to go into space, able to go to a certain degree to the depths of the ocean. You're able to build up certain technologies and do certain things. The internet, your GPS, satellites and whatnot. All kinds of weaponries, missile guidance systems and whatnot. There's all these different things you've been able to do, which like I said, you're wiser than Daniel. But what by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Power, because thou hast set thine heart as a heart of God. Behold, therefore, I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile their brightness. So all that wisdom, all that greatness that you heaped upon yourself, all that you've been able to achieve, it's got you so proud. You're thinking like, I can replace the Most High. I can achieve these miracles myself. That's gonna flip to what? Yeah, complete inverse, man. Complete inverse. And that's what it's with, with these things that he's accomplishing. He's gonna get to a certain extent. He's gonna push. He's gonna achieve a hell of a lot. Because that's what prophecy says. He needs to get that charagma in. It's gonna get to what? Job 20. Start from 20 says, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So yeah, he's basically it's gonna seem like it's all running smooth. It's all going good. Everything's gonna be coming together. All the different, stones on the pyramid coming together. All these, he's like, okay, all I need is a capstone. We had these plans for a hell of a lot of time. They've been coming into their own. We're gonna achieve this thing. We're gonna make it happen. You get the charagma and you get certain things happening. They'll be off in the depths of the ocean, off in the space stations and whatnot, in these different spots, hiding out, watching their machinations. And I think, this is all going good. This is all gonna work out. But then what? In the fullness of his in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Yeah. When he's thinking like, it's all coming good, everything's gonna start unraveling. Because why? You can have Yahushua, you can have the angels coming through to basically what? Fulfill prophecy, man. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. Yeah. When everything's about to cut, it's all so-called meant to be coming together. When it's all coming up Millhouse, that's when all of a sudden it's gonna flip, and it ain't gonna work out. It ain't gonna be with at such ease. And shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Yeah, when he's thinking like, this plate I prepared, I'm gonna enjoy it to its fullness. Ain't gonna come to pass, man. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and a bow of steel shall strike him through. Yeah. These different martial technologies that have been developed. The key one being what? The missile. the nuclear missile, man. The nuclear warhead, I should say. Because that's more the part that applies. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Yeah? That glittering sword, man. The missile, that's going to be a key part of how it all comes to its end. And that's been, a focal point is what? These nukes, the nuclear capability of this conflict. So yeah, I'll leave it there. But yeah, that charagma in the works. But yeah, shalom. Shalom.